Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Survival Seeds 2024 live stream. This is the last Survival Seeds live stream before the big October extravaganza. So we're really excited. Today there's no interview. We're going to have a panel, and we're going to talk about what we learned, how the collaboration went, and what our big plans are for 2025. Survival Seeds 2025. That feels weird to say 2025. Every year you get that little trip where you just like move into the next year, and it's weird to say.
Also, apologies. I left the video or the live stream private until like 30 seconds ago. So it's gonna be a little bit hard to find the live, I think.
Yep.
And notifications may or may not go out. What? So if
you guys could just share out the live stream this time around, because we forgot to put it live, so
sorry.
A lot of people won't see it.
Okay.
Hello, Canadian Family Life and Jaden, Preparedness HQ, Kentucky Woman Carlene. Happy Sunday. I'm glad you guys could find the live stream. Again, we left it private for like all the time until like 30 seconds before the live. So
hey, Mr. Carson.
Hey, Mr. Carson. It's good to see you. What are you eating for supper? Just curious. Hey, Miss Grace. Happy Sunday. But this is the last live stream before the October extravaganza, which marks 7 days left for you to get your final videos out. And this week we did get a lot of final videos putting in.
We did.
In fact, almost all of the videos that we got this week were final videos.
I think we have 14 videos in the playlist now.
Yep.
So it's getting really, really cool to see how everyone is doing. And all the final videos are great.
Yeah, everything is going super duper well, and we're really excited. Again, the October extravaganza is not going to be next Sunday. It's going to be next Saturday. And it's going to start at 5, I think. It's going to be an hour earlier. So...
No, it's 5 o'clock Central Time, so it's the same time.
Is it the same time?
It's the same time.
I thought it was earlier.
Same time, but on Saturday.
Okay. Got it.
I'm gonna fact check.
Just keep an eye out for that, and just make sure you mark your calendars, because it's going to be a day before the usual time. So yeah, it is 6.
Yeah, it's at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, just Saturday instead of Sunday. That's the big change. But yeah, so just keep that in your calendar, because it's going to be a day before the usual date. And you have to get your final video out the day before the live stream. So you have to get it out by Friday, or it's not going to be included on the wheel for final videos. Hi, Mountain Grandma. It's good to see you. Happy Sunday. But we're really excited for that. Now, Mr. Jesse and Miss Lisa are not here today, because they're in the they were at the Pinecone meetup, I think. Pinecone Fest meetup. So that's super fun, but they're not going to be able to be here today. But we do have a lot of really exciting stuff to talk about with the panel, which we'll bring up in a minute. But first of all, let's talk about the videos we got. Hey, Miss Lori, no rush. You get 7 days. 6 days. You get 6 days. Little bit of a rush, I guess. So this week we got 7 videos, and a lot of them were final videos. Now we got Our Treasured Home put up her video. She received her winnings. She got, I think, the Rain Point gift. So I'm really excited to see her use that in her garden, because I know firsthand that those can be super duper helpful. So I'm excited to see how she ends up using those. Grace and Fire went live for her final video, and it was a really great live. A lot of people were there, and she talked about what she learned in Survival Seeds, and it was a great live, so definitely check it out. It All Adds Up did their final video. She grew some really nice squashes, and her garden looked great. All of the final videos were really, really great. I'm going to touch on this real quick. Let me just hang on. Mac and cheese, honey glazed ham, summer squash.
You guys are fancy.
Appalachian apple cake with cream cheese frosting. That sounds really good.
The other one we had was up here.
Meatloaf, mashed potatoes, baked beans, and peach cobbler. What?
You guys have some fancy dinners going on. Thank you to our moderators, Grace NYC, Treasure Hunter Neil, Lori's World, Carson 1954. These are people who collaborate with us for the and participate in the Survival Seeds collaboration. So if you are a moderator, feel free to drop a link to your channel and your videos. We'd really appreciate that.
Yep. What are you gonna make me for breakfast?
Breakfast?
Or for dinner?
Nothing.
Nothing for dinner? No.
No.
Well, we made a fancy breakfast.
We had a fancy breakfast that we ate at like 2 p.m. because we actually had the craziest day yesterday.
Oh my goodness. Let's finish the hashtag and then we'll talk about yesterday. Back to the hashtag. The official Ann Lynn show put up their final video. It was a tough growing season for a lot of people this year. We also had a lot of trouble with our tomatoes and our squash. But Miss Lynn is determined to learn from her year and to take what she learned into thought for the next year. And I love that mindset because like even when you have a lot of trouble with what you're doing in your garden, it is very important to stay determined to keep going and learn from what went wrong. So I love that mindset. Butler Family Farm did a final video. He showed what was left of their garden and talked about the whole year. And we actually got a lot of input on what the seeds were and how everything was going with the videos. So I'm really looking forward to talking with the panel over the break, over the growing break.
Yeah.
To see what we can improve about survival seeds and what can be changed, because the seeds we did a lot of research was put into what seeds to grow, but we didn't take into account all the different growing zones. So some people have trouble, like I think Rem said that Walla Walla onions aren't easy to grow in Canada. And so there were a lot of area contributions that weren't taken into account when we were looking into all the videos. So that was something that we hadn't quite thought of, and so I'm really looking forward to talking more with everyone about the choices we made and what we should do next year. It's very cool. Speaking of Rem's family, Mr. Rem put up his video and he talked a lot about what he would change in the seed selection. And he actually provided a lot of great insight on what he thought on the choices. And again, all of these thoughts are going to be taken into consideration when we go to the when we start talking about things over break. So I'm very excited to get into that, and all of the input will be taken into consideration. And Dale put up her final video. It was an awesome video showing all sorts of stuff. She talked all about her garden and how everything is going. And again, I can't wait for us to get into after the October extravaganza, when we can start bringing people up on the panel like we're going to do tonight and just chat about what we think of the seed selection, what we can do with all of that. And I am very excited to get into all of that. Hi, BNS Odyssey. It's good to see you. Bushcraft family and Grace NYC, thank you guys so much for coming in. I think we are planning on doing this collaboration, and we'll probably have more information on becoming part of the collaboration and getting those seeds like we did last year closer to the start of next year. There's still some things we need to figure out and some changes that I'd like to make, and we'll be talking about that during the off season, so I'm really excited to do that. We actually had a little success with the onions. That's great. Let's see. Hello, Southwest Living with Val and Jennifer Ocean Homestead. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I think, is there anything else you wanted to address? I don't think so.
All right.
Yes, Miss Grace, I did see your final video. It was a great final video, and it is in the playlist. I am really excited about all the final videos that are getting up this week, and they're these past couple weeks, and they're just awesome. Okay, so I don't know if our guest is ready. She said she needed about 10 minutes.
Okay. We can bring up Mr. Bushcraft, though. He's back. All right. Before I do that, Dark Lord Menet, hello, and thank you so much for being here. I have to turn off my ringer.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Turn off your ringer.
How?
Just mute it.
Final video is done too. Some of these final videos we actually addressed last week, and I'm pretty sure Dark Lord Menet and Grace NYC were part of last week's round.
Yep.
So definitely go back into the Survival Seeds final video playlist on our channel. We have a playlist with everyone's final videos, and everyone has such a cool final video.
Yes. So the Survival Seeds 2024 hashtag has gotten super full. But there is a playlist on our channel of all of the final videos, and those are all really cool. And I'm really enjoying getting to watch all of those and see what everyone talked about and how everyone felt about the collaboration. So definitely check out the playlist, the final video playlist. Stay caught up with the hashtag, because again, there's so much you can learn from all of your fellow collaborators.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Collaborator? I can't think of the word. Collaborators. Yes, that is the word. Thank you.
All right.
So we're going to bring up our co-host.
Yep. All right.
Hi, Mr. Charles. How are you?
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
It's good. We hope you and your son are doing better. We've been praying for you guys. And welcome back.
It's day-to-day type stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Some days are better than others.
Well, we hope he's getting better.
Yeah.
Rambling with the Brums. Hello.
Hey, Mr. Scott.
Xander made some tinctures that I'm interested in making. Ooh, nice. You have until the 18th, noon Central Time, to get them in. That is the deadline for final videos if you would like to be part of the giveaway on the 19th, because we do need some time to get it all settled, and Mr. Jesse needs some time to get it put on the list. My final video is not on the list. Okay, I'll make a note of that, and we'll double check that for you. And thank you for telling us. If you guys would like to help us out a little bit, you can email us when you have your final video. And that will help us make sure to get it onto the playlist, because we are doing our best to find everything, but it is a little bit difficult with the hashtag not being very easy to find. So
sometimes they just don't make it.
Yeah, Southwest Living with Val she used the right hashtag and everything, and it didn't show up in the
Yeah.
But we just added it, so it should be good now. And thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, I'll have to go back on that one next week. So, do you have any updates, Mr. Charles? How are your garden and herbs doing?
Oh, my garden is junk.
Oh no.
I with everything going on, I pretty much just let it go, and we finally started getting rain.
Oh yeah, it was raining like
after
crazy.
it was too late, but I was letting,
I'm sure you've been very busy.
The peppers and everything turn to seed, and then we got rain, and then they're coming back to life now.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I have to wait a little bit longer for those peppers, because I just let until they get hard on the vine, and then that's when I harvest them for saving the seed.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Mother Nature knows how best way to do it.
Yeah.
Wow, Southwest 17 pepperoncinis on one plant.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they are very nice peppers, very big.
We hope you feel better soon. That's really, really rough. So we'll be praying for you guys. And take your time, no worries. Have fun at the lake.
So you brought up last night. You gonna finish talking about that?
No.
Yesterday was a mess. We got scheduled for 2 live concerts yesterday, and it was awesome. We were able to go to the Little Wolf Theater in Paw Paw, which is a really cool theater. It was our first time being on a stage like that. It was a beautiful little theater. And we were part of the Champions for HD
fundraiser.
And
HD is Huntington's disease, and they're raising money to give the patients a better quality of life.
Support research.
And to support research. It's a really good organization, and we were very honored to be able to play with them. But then as soon as we performed, we had to go run because we had a 3.5-hour session right after that. at an American Legion.
And 8 to 11:30 is the longest set we've ever done. And so we got home at like midnight, and there was a blackout.
Yeah, we got home and there's no power because it was raining.
And so it's storming. We got to bring in the instruments or they're going to get soaked. So we bring in the instruments. We have no power. We go downstairs
and our freezer's
make sure
dead.
everything's going great. And the power comes back on. And it's like a few minutes after we got home, the power comes back. And so we're all like, yes, the power's back. And then we go downstairs and our freezer is dead. And not just from the power outage, something is wrong with our freezer and it died.
So we lost like 6 garbage bags worth of food.
Yeah, and there was
it was
meat,
1 in the morning.
Cheese, all sorts of stuff. So 1 in the morning, they have to clean. For some reason, the freezer, everything melted and it started leaking. And
Might have been a power surge.
Yeah, we're thinking it was like it blew a fuse or something.
Yeah,
and
something. Because it couldn't have been related to the power outage because all of the food in the freezer would not be room temperature because we only lost power that night.
Yeah.
It was hours, but
the freezer went out before the power outage.
It would have to have been because the other freezers weren't that defrosted.
Because we only lost power for a couple hours. It was weird.
Yeah. But then we spent like a few hours cleaning up all the meat juice that had leaked all over the floor.
That was gross.
And emptying out the freezer. And so now we have a dead freezer and a whole lot of wasted room temperature food.
And then we woke up and it was noon.
Yeah, we woke up at noon.
I don't think I've ever.
We went to bed at like 2:30, and then we got up at noon. And then after we got up,
and everyone's sore and horrible. And that right there is like exactly.
Canning is a good yes.
I don't know how to can cheese, but
I don't know why they don't build like a. Well, if you guys ain't home, it wouldn't have happened. But like, if the freezer stops working, it's does alarm beep 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 beep.
Yeah,
that would be good
like that.
I think there is on like industrial grade because I have seen where it like has a light and a sound if it loses power, but it's like high end freezers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Power came back on by Miss B last night.
Yay!
Wow, that's good.
Hey Troy Sutton, thank you for coming in.
I was gonna say something. I can't remember what I was saying.
I don't know.
Oh well. But yeah, it was a mess last night. It was very smelly.
Yeah, it was gross.
And the garbage bags were so heavy. Like, goodness.
Yeah, some do.
Yeah.
Hey, Be Charming. Thank you for coming in. Oh, whoops. You're welcome, ER. Hope you enjoy. My fridge has a power outage alarm. It doesn't go off till you smash a button.
Oh, no.
No. That's not good. All right. With the collaboration, I don't think our panelist is ready to come up yet. But in the meantime, I was trying to brainstorm things that we would change for next year, and one of them is the fact that I like Google Forms.
She does. She really does.
One of the most consistent things that we've had issues with as far as this collaboration goes is the seeming inability to find every video in the hashtag, just because YouTube is weird and doesn't let you filter the hashtag. And now that there's over 500 videos in the hashtag, it takes forever to find new stuff if it's even in the hashtag.
It doesn't put it newest to oldest either.
No, it doesn't. There's no order.
Ridiculous.
It's like playing 52 card pickup.
Yeah.
Right? You have no idea where anything is.
And some of the cards get lost.
Right?
And it gets really hard to like find every video to promote on Sundays because we love the community that has been made around this collaboration, but it gets really, really hard to find everything. And then when we miss one, it takes even longer to try to make sure we have the video and then we get to put it with the other videos.
Right.
So one of the things I kind of wanted to see what people thought for this year is to have a Google form for every month. And every time you put up a video, just fill in your name and copy paste the link of your video, just so that it's easier to find. And then when there's a new month, we can just close that form and use a new one so that it doesn't get insanely crammed, which I think would probably make it easier on both the giveaway end and the promotional end. But I did want to see what people thought of that in case they thought it was too complicated or other input on that. just because I want to make sure that everyone can get promoted through this collaboration. What everyone has to say in their videos and what everyone has to show is very important, and we're very excited to learn what people are doing their own ways, and we want to make sure that other people can find that, and it gets hard to do so in a huge hashtag, which I don't think we anticipated.
I would sit there for like an hour, and I'd go off and get a drink or something, come back, and then I'd start scrolling where I left off, and then it would refresh.
It would refresh.
I'd have to start all over again.
And then it doesn't refresh in the same order.
I know.
It's awful. Yeah, that's what I've been thinking too.
You have to sit there for hours.
Yeah. And then you still miss some, and then people email, and that does help. Emailing does help. And I had been thinking just send us an email, but that does get hard to remember, and our inbox is already very filled with other stuff, like promotional emails that I haven't unsubscribed to yet. I should do that.
I get like on my bushcraft one, I get like 75 to 100 emails a day.
A day. Oh, it gets insane.
That's really hard to get another 50 on top of that. Right. That's why I made that form, because I couldn't keep track of the emails.
Right. And I feel like
then somebody would reply back to one of those, and it's just too confusing to try to keep track of.
There's a lot of different threads that would be counted differently.
Yeah.
And then you have the issue with typing in the email wrong and then sending it, and you don't know that they that they didn't get it. So that's why I was thinking the email wasn't the best idea. But I don't know if there's for some reason a way you can't use the Google form. I think that would be a good backup, just so that we have a chance to see it anyway.
And if there's like a few channels who like really can't figure it out, then keeping track of like 4 or 5 channels that are having trouble with the Google Forms, having to go and check their channels every week to see if they put up a video
isn't as bad.
Is much easier than going through the 700 video playlist every week. Or whatever.
Well, the thing with the Google Forms is if they're using YouTube, they automatically have a Google account.
Yeah.
So usually they're already logged in. So once they click the link, it already has their email at top.
Right.
It's the only thing we're using is their YouTube channel and their email.
Yeah.
Not like we're asking for personal information or anything.
Just so that we know who it is and what video link they have, so we can make sure to check it out.
Right.
Yeah.
And that would make it much easier to import links for giveaways, for example.
Yeah.
Instead of like hunting down the hashtag, because I know that was hard on both Trey and Mr. Jesse, just trying to make sure everything was okay the whole time.
Yeah. Mr. Jesse had it really rough. Another issue that we had is people misspelling the hashtag. We had a few hashtags Survival Seeds 24,
which is a really good idea. But it does get confusing with we count the 2024, but 24 is also a hashtag, and then you have to check that one too.
Yeah, and then there was someone who did Survival Seeds Collaboration 2024, and then Survival Seed 2024. So I'm thinking the Google form might make it a little bit easier, because even if you make a typo, we still get the alert that there is a video, and if we can't use the link, we can just go find the link, and so I think it would be a lot easier altogether.
I have a hard enough time just spelling my own name.
Right. And I turned off autocorrect on my laptop because it just makes things so much harder. And so, like, I don't notice anymore when I spell something wrong, because instead of it changing to a different word, it just leaves it the way it was. And then I don't even notice that I did something wrong. Another reason I wanted to do the Google form is because, like...
You like Google Forms.
I love Google Forms. But it would be cool to just, like, do a community post or something about the videos as they come in. And it would be a lot easier to promote that video on our channel if we had the link easier.
Yeah.
We were pretty good about finding videos and promoting them on our community page towards the start of the year, and then music stuff got crazy, and I stopped being able to track down every video as easy. Hi, Barb's Country Home.
Part of the
Well,
issue
that's
is
something to think about. I can make a form to where you could do announcements and stuff like that.
That would be cool.
And then, everybody could chit chat in there and whatnot. And
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if forms is a thing anymore.
I'm actually thinking about I don't know. I don't know how it would work, but like an email list, sort of, like I don't know what those are called, like an email update.
Oh,
A
newsletter.
newsletter.
Yeah, a newsletter. Like that would be cool, or like some sort of blog or something.
Yeah.
But I know hashtags do help smaller channels get views, and I do want to kind of encourage using the hashtag that people look at, because that hashtag does get played, and it gets played a good bit. And we're really thankful for our community helping us do that. But I think at the same time, we do want to make sure that we do bring attention to the other channels that either didn't spell it right or they did, and they're still tiny channels, or even if they're not tiny channels, every video really deserves to get talked about because everyone has their own unique take on gardening.
Right. I think the only big issue with
this is a good idea, Miss Jennifer.
Survival Seeds.
I'm gonna write that down.
Survivalseeds@gmail.com.
Don't take that email. I need it.
Nobody touch it.
You shouldn't have said that. It's gone now.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Don't take it.
The only issue that I have with newsletters is that I never check my email, specifically my college email. I think it's been a solid 2 weeks since I've checked my college email.
I feel like this is your fault then.
Yeah, but thankfully I won't need to check the Survival Seeds for the newsletter because we'll probably type the newsletter.
I'm going to take this opportunity to go ahead and let our panelists up. Today we have Leonard Mountain Homestead and our treasured home, who we're going to be talking with. And thank you guys both so much for being here. We really appreciate you guys. And so I wasn't going to do it, and then you made the sound.
I did it. I made the sound.
Hello, guys. How are you guys doing?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
That's a beautiful lake behind you.
I'm telling you, it is very beautiful out here. We had so much fun at this meetup, and a lot of people have already left. I think it was because, they have animals at home, because we are homesteaders.
Yeah.
But some are just like, let's just go home and relax, have another day to relax. So we're leaving tomorrow.
Oh,
so
Well, I have a question. Where are the fishing poles?
Yeah.
let me tell you, we forgot them at home. And I was I was planning on fishing, and that didn't happen. But we have a lot of this going on. You see that?
Oh.
And so it splashes the water. And so it's kind of hard to
you're not gonna get much fish.
Yeah, you're not going to get much fish. So, because there's a whole bunch of boats just going by really quickly. So
they gotta be kind of shy.
Scare all the fishies.
Well, next time you do, we gotta mail you Bunky, with express shipping or something, because he wants to go fishing too.
She could have traveled with Jesse. She could have traveled with Jesse and Lisa. They were here. So
you gotta ship her to them.
So you gotta ship Bunky from Michigan to Texas, and then they'll take them there, and then they can ship Bunky back to us.
Yes, she'll be everywhere. Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta collect the stamps.
You gotta put fragile on the box.
I'm gonna turn to the chat for a second. Miss Grace has an overwintered pepper plant. That's very cool.
Nice.
Miss Val is going to try to overwinter her pepper plants in her greenhouse. That's a really good idea. We tried doing that inside, I think, last year.
Oh, you can't do that. You can't bring them inside. The bugs, they don't die. Nothing.
There were so many gnats all winter. It was
live forever. But we're gonna try doing it in the garden or in the greenhouse because nobody cares if there's bugs in the greenhouse. As long as they don't eat our figs.
So what type of questions do y'all have for me?
All right.
All the questions for all the people.
So, I did want to get your opinions on a few things. What was your favorite seed that you got sent for survival seeds this year?
This is for everyone to answer.
All three
of you.
And the chat.
I would have to say the tomatoes, and let me tell you why. Because my grandson loves tomatoes, and they were the ones that did the best for me. Besides the squash, but I used different ones. The beets, I couldn't figure those out. Like y'all girls, y'all know this was my first year trying to plant anything. I was excited that I planted from seeds. So that in itself, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. But I kind of, every time I say I failed my garden, the only reason I say that is because I didn't go out there and water like I was supposed to, because I did lose my father. And so I kind of went into a depression stage and didn't have the motivation to go out there and take care of my garden and stuff.
Right.
And like the animals, my kids, they're having fun back there. My kids went and, helped me with the animals and stuff because, losing my daddy, it was kind of hard,
Yeah.
so, but I'm not giving up. I will plant again.
Yeah, that's really great. Sorry about your dad. That's really, really hard to go through. And that does throw off a lot of what you plan to do. And we're sorry. But it's good to hear that you're going to keep trying.
Yep.
So, our treasured home, what was your favorite?
Okay. I like onions. So I like the Walla Walla onions. That is a mouthful.
It really is.
So, when I started in May, because sometimes here in Ohio, I can start seeds inside, but then to get them outside, it's like we last frost is supposed to be April, but usually it's in the May when we have our last frost. So I had everything planted. I got organic soil and just nothing. And I was just like, okay. So that was like the first round. So, talking to different people, they say plant again in June, just keep going. Just don't stop. So I planted the radishes again. I tried turnips, the peppers, and I did some sage. My dill actually grew. So that will be in my final video. So,
Yay.
But everything else is still like a little mini garden. I'm just like, so come to the conclusion it's the soil that I bought. So that would be definitely an amendment next year. But I was like just super excited because I was just like, I wanted to grow our own vegetables as much as I could because of the grocery store prices going up. And it's just it was just like, to fail because I could that thing grow. So I'm looking forward to next year also because I have a little surprise when I do my final video about the radishes.
Ooh, can't wait. I know off the top of my head we had what's his name? Braden McDaniel and the Bull's Garden, who both came onto the Survival Seeds Live and were talking about what you could do to your soil to make it healthier. And I think a lot of it comes down to the microbes being in the soil, which is the tiny little stuff that lives in soil and makes it cool and healthy. And so there's some at-home things you can do with like banana peels and sugar, like Braden was saying. Or the Bull's Garden does a lot of compost and chicken manure.
Plant juice.
And so you could put other stuff in the soil to try to make it healthier. So if you'd want to look into that, that might help.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it. But I also was looking at Amazon and I bought some because I live in a townhouse. You don't have that much space, and it was a little liquid bottle, and it was all natural stuff that with the nitrogen and everything needed to grow. So that was like back in August. I said feed every 6 months or something like that. So I was like, okay, or every 3 months, and then I think that's what helped the second time going around because everything started to grow.
Good.
But September, it's just like, the end of September, it was just like so hot. And I was just like you, Leonard Homestead, I just didn't feel like going out and watering because, I have a gallon jug and the 1 gallon jug will water like 10 of the smaller ones, but the whiskey barrel and the big one takes more water. And I'm just like, I just didn't like doing it, but everything still grew. So that was just like, okay, maybe the rain helped and everything just like the rain's still there somewhere or another.
Yeah. So, Mr. Charles, what was your favorite seed of the 6?
Well, here in Ohio, we had like a major drought. At least my county did. So it was watering twice a day the whole time, and the beets, they bolted. Didn't get anything out of them because they turned it. It was too hot.
Man,
Even in April when I planted them.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably say the beans, kidney beans, even though the deer ate the leaves off of them, I still got beans out of them. So I have like 4 times as many seeds now for next year.
All right.
Sometime to me.
Yeah, that's good.
well, I mean, if nothing else, you have extra seeds now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We have like a little sandwich Ziploc bag that's like a quarter full of kidney bean seeds.
Yeah, same thing with
Can't
spinach. It bolted
Right.
and went straight to seed. Didn't get hardly any leaves to eat or anything.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's too bad. Nothing you can do about a drought like that, though.
Yeah, it's Mother Nature. You gotta. Next year will be different. I mean, there's a lot of people was complaining about bugs and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't have any bugs.
At least there's that.
It's probably because I prepare for that ahead of time. I put, which the neighbor probably doesn't like it either, but around my gardens, 6 feet away from my beds, I spray with neem oil. So it's a barrier for the bugs that come in. It turns the grass funny color, but
it does.
I'm not a fan of grass anyway. Well, drought, I didn't have to mow that much.
That is true.
Yeah. All right. Well, Miss Amy, back to you. What was your least favorite seed of the 6?
I would say, let me see, what was it? There was some seeds I didn't plant this year. I'm going to try for next time. So I can't say I had a least favorite because I didn't plant most of them because because where we're at, we can only plant in raised beds. And I only had so many this year, and I was just trying to see like how many seeds. And I learned what not to plant so much of because I do know that squash just takes over. If you plant so many squash seeds, they take over. So it wasn't that the squash was the least favorite. It's just I planted too many. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
For everything else that didn't grow. So yeah. So
right.
I hope that answered that question.
Yeah. How about you, Miss
Nancy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just took me a second.
It's okay. I would say, well, like Amy said, I don't have a least favorite because there's some things because we cannot allow to plant viney plants. So, but since it's in the back and they won't really see it, I would say I want to try to do the beans next year because we get a lot of beans all the time and everything because we make a lot, chili, and I use beans for, we make our own. I make my own refried beans, and so I want to do the beans, and I love squash, whether it's yellow squash or zucchini and everything. So the second time when I did plant one of the zucchinis and it came up, it flowered, and then we had that heat, and I was like, oh man. And the pumpkin did the same thing. It was like, it was beautiful. And then the next thing, it was just like nothing. I was like,
oh, that's so sad.
Yes. So I'm planning early next year. But I was like, I really would like to try the beans because, that would help out, again, like I said, with the groceries and everything. So that'll be a lot of mending next year.
Beans are easy. Beans are usually pretty easy to grow.
Yeah. So what was your least favorite, Mr. Charles?
No rain. Probably the squash because I did the three sister thing with the squash, and I did regular green beans for that. There's a point where it was doing really good, and then we got that really bad 90 degrees for like 3 weeks, and it just burned it up. I couldn't keep it wet. Water.
So you ended up doing the two sisters method.
There was no sisters.
Oh no!
it burned up.
No.
The first batch of corn I got off of it was really good, and then it was just too hot, and you could taste the toughness in it from the heat.
Yeah,
but I got a bunch of seed from it though.
That's good. That is good.
Well, now you got some for next year. Hopefully you get better weather next year.
Hi, Butler Family Farm.
Hello.
Usually that means we're going to have a doozy of a winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this winter.
Yeah.
I'm just ready for the cooler weather. I just keep the snow and the rain and all. Just let it be a little cooler, you know.
Right, why can't it be sweater
okay
weather 24/7?
Right? Like today I was like sweating. I was like, gosh, this is really hot.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little warmer out here on this Texas lake. So, yeah.
Yeah. So,
a lot of people. Oh, hold on. Someone asked, I think it was Miss Grace. She wants to see the lake, please. It's so pretty there.
That's pretty.
Goodness.
My goodness.
Wow.
Really pretty.
It looks like such a nice lake.
I love that rock wall thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all the way around.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's great.
That is amazing.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see. Southwest Living with Val says, I'm glad the cooler weather is here. It's been getting really chilly here at night. I've had it where, not so much that it's, well, yeah, it is cold. But, like, you have to put your rain boots away because if you don't, they're going to be wet and freezing in the morning. And I don't understand why.
Imagine wearing rain boots. I just wear my Crocs.
And sandals. No, socks.
Yeah.
So we've been having issues with that, but I don't think we've had our first frost yet. Mom's expecting it next week, and then
you haven't had
all our tomatoes. What?
Wow, we've already had two.
Sure we have.
Yes.
Have we? Because she's expecting the first frost because we haven't.
Not bad. It's not bad enough to kill everything off, but because I still have sweet potatoes out there.
Yeah.
Well, I've got everything still out there. It's just I haven't done anything with it.
Right.
We've had like some really little frost.
I wasn't aware of any frost.
Yeah, next week is going to be our really bad frost. So things have to be prepped before next week.
Oh my gosh, back in August?
Yeah, I forgot about that. That is like, God, where are you, Antarctica?
That's dreadful. Yeah, we are next to a lake, and that does help. I mean, not next to, but we are close to a lake. Lake Michigan, and that actually deters a lot of cold weather for a good while.
Yeah.
So we get,
but then we get a lot of snow.
We get a ton of snow, but like less cold weather. So we are pretty fortunate as far as that goes, location wise.
Yeah.
Had frost since last month. Nothing over by Butler Family Farm. Only frost Christy Baum has is in the freezer. Hello, by the way. Thank you for coming in.
Won't see frost for a month. Southwest Living with Val. Wow. Now, a lot of people. I've had a lot of issues this year with, like, Mr. Charles had drought. Lots of people had bugs, hornworms, all sorts of stuff. What was the biggest issue you had garden-wise this year? I think we're going to start with Miss Amy again because that seems to just be the order.
Sorry.
Okay.
Well, I didn't really have much of the bugs myself. I don't know if it's just like Bushcraft was saying, I don't know if it's something that I had in my my soil, because I was getting squash like crazy. I was getting tomatoes like crazy. I was getting cucumbers like crazy. It's just, I think the biggest issue was the heat, because after a while the heat got to everything. much less, like I hadn't watered, so it, that's why my garden didn't. I think.
Right.
No.
So, what was the biggest issue you had, Miss Nancy?
To me, it was several. It was the soil, because it was back to roots, organic soil, and then the two big planters are just on a whim was Miracle-Gro organic, because I want to see if there was a difference and everything, and it's like it just fizzled everything out. But just like Charles says, I'm in Central Ohio. The heat really got to us. So my biggest one was the soil and the heat. And like when it's 90 degrees out there, and you just you even feel it on the inside of the house, whether you got the AC on or whatever, and it's just you just don't feel like going out there and watering anything, even it's like steps out the back door.
I'm pretty sure I can guess, but what was your worst issue, Mr. Charles?
Yes, the drought.
Drought. I think our biggest issue this year was just
not enough time.
Yeah. Hornworms, probably.
I think my biggest issue as far as the collaboration stuff goes was the shipping, actually.
That's
it has nothing to do with the garden. And the biggest issues I had with our garden were stuff that we did. We planted our onions and beets in a kiddie pool that did not drain well, and both of those don't like being wet. So neither of those did well. And our squash, which also did terrible, was in a pot that drained way too fast.
Yeah.
So that was on us. But really, we didn't have many bug issues because our survival seeds garden was so far away from our other garden. We didn't really notice issues other than what we did with our pots.
Yeah, the bugs all came to our family garden instead of the survival.
But the most memorable issue from the collaboration was really the shipping, because beans, no one had beans that were easy to ship. Anytime we had a video complaining about we're not complaining, but telling us that something went wrong. It was always the beans. The beans were always crushed. They were always crushed.
What do they do with the envelopes? Do they run them through a little flattener?
Yeah.
Did they do that?
There's rollers that they go through, unless you tell them.
I didn't know that.
But they charge you like $5 for us, so they don't send it through those.
And then you were trying to do the I had to start telling the post lady that you have to put some sort of stamp on it to do not flatten. And even then they still flatten them.
Yeah.
So next year I need to figure something else out. For the beans, we had just standard red kidney beans. So I might just have people either get them themselves.
Lentils.
Because
they're already flat.
You can literally just get a bag from your local store of dried kidney beans that you can plant, and you can get 100 seeds.
Yeah, so just go to the store, get some dried kidney beans.
I even had, and you know how lemon balm, it's really a small seed, and they were squished. I had some people they were squished. I'm like, did they go and use a hammer on it when it went through?
Miss Jennifer literally.
Or the one where a mouse got in the mailbox.
Oh my gosh.
In the post office, and it ate the seeds.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Oh my stars.
Or people just didn't get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta
Actually,
wonder what happened to those.
we had to send seeds to
multiple people.
No, the one I'm thinking of is the Bull's Garden had to get it sent 3 times, and the only time he got it is when we sent a shirt with it and sent it as a package. And then last month it comes back in the mail, and we got it in our PO box, and it looks like someone stepped on it.
The shirt?
No,
Oh,
the envelope with the seeds from 6 months ago came back. And
stepped on.
Where did he go for 6 months?
Wasn't there someone?
Wow.
Who was it that we sent 3 sets to, and all 3 of them got there 3 months?
I think it was Grace, wasn't it?
I think it might have been Grace.
Someone got them multiple times, and all of them were late.
She had a really hard time getting hers.
It was just awful.
So
we
girls,
have
y'all did a really good job. Y'all did a really good job from
Thank
shipping
you.
those out, especially with how many were in the collaboration.
Yeah.
Y'all did awesome.
Thank
Y'all
you.
did really good for the shipping. Yes.
Thank you.
You know what was super fun?
What?
The nights we spent sitting at the kitchen table,
I did,
going
like, half
through the
of them.
onion seeds. Do you know how big an onion seed is? They're like that big.
Yeah,
That
they're
big.
tiny.
You're sitting there just sorting one,
wanted
two,
8. We wanted
three,
8.
4. Oh no, I lost count.
I do know for next year I'm getting a sponge
A sponge?
because I couldn't taste anything for a week after licking all those envelopes.
Oh my god.
That is funny.
I've always been a little bit funny with how I think, but like I never liked licking envelopes because somebody has your DNA then. So you always just use a cup of water and you dip your finger in it to wet the envelopes. They have your DNA. But yeah, definitely use this.
Peel and stick envelopes are the best. I love those.
Right.
I love those. So
Why
much.
didn't we think to use those ones?
Then add a piece of tape.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, this would have been a lot easier with the way we did it because we didn't expect that many people. And like I loved separating out the seeds. It was so fun and I loved doing it, but there were so many of them.
I did not love any of that. Yeah. They can be the lick. They can be the lick of approval.
That's gross. That is gross.
Oh, tripod's not that gross.
It is.
She only, that gross. She only eats chicken manure. It's organic.
I want to say we sent out somewhere around 80. Somewhere around
It was
80
up in the
packets of
80s
seeds.
because we had to
Wow.
send multiple to some people.
And we did send multiple to some people, but I think there were at least 70 to 80 people that we sent to. And then there were other people who got the seeds themselves and then joined the collaboration later.
You know what took even longer than separating the seeds? Finding KK's glasses so she could separate the seeds.
It took
You
so
didn't
long.
send them to
That's
somebody,
funny.
did they?
No,
I didn't. No.
She left them somewhere under the couch.
Just like as a forward notice, if I end up doing that, send them back. I need them. I need them.
She can't play music without her glasses.
Yes, I can.
Please. Okay, she can't do her homework without her
Wait.
glasses.
No, more than 80.
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to. Did we send out like
2,000.
100? I was gonna go 80 to be safe because we send out multiple, but if it's more than 80,
Right.
I know there was like this big thing when we finally made it to 60 envelopes, and then we had to do it again.
It will most likely be more than 100 next year.
It might have been more than 100 this year.
I'm actually super excited. What?
Close to 120. Wow. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay, I was off.
We were very off. Thank you.
Okay.
How were we off? We helped pack them.
Mine was in the 50s, but I ended up sending at least 30 more out.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't get their seeds.
Wow. Oh wow, that was a lot.
Being squished and stuff, which I thought, and I put them in the little Ziploc bags and put a little air in them, thinking it would
It'll
cushion
help.
it. They popped them. They popped the little bags.
I almost feel like it's deliberate, just like ooh, puffy envelope. We're gonna step on them.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't pop the little bags.
No, I mean through the mail. Through the mail, it got popped.
Okay, so Mom saves the stuff that you use for packing when stuff comes in the mail, like bubble wrap, the paper.
I don't see how you guys have any bubble wrap, because when you guys sent me that jam, it took me like 45 minutes to get into one jar.
So Mom packs things really, really, really well because sometimes stuff will break. So she's really good at packing. You should see her on Christmas Day. How long did it take you to open that one package?
Like 5 minutes.
It took you forever. And then Dad and I have an ongoing competition on who can keep the wrapping paper in one piece on Christmas Day.
Oh.
And with the amount of tape Mom uses, it's not easy to keep it in one piece. KK's gotten to the point where she just tears it apart.
Okay, but like she's also like really good at wrapping. Like she said, she's really good at wrapping. and I'm not.
KK did not inherit this gene.
So naturally, I'm doing as creative as I can with the least effort possible.
Her
birthday gift 2 years ago was in a Walmart shopping bag.
One time it was covered in a blanket.
Yep.
They do make wrapping paper that you can't rip.
Yeah. Seriously.
We have to do that.
That is genius. That is beautiful in a horrible way.
Yes, for those.
Oh boy. Yeah,
It's pretty.
And see, Mom makes them really, really pretty too. Like all
you feel bad about it.
All of the things Mom wraps look super pretty, and mine all look scrunkly and crooked.
I feel like my favorite one I've ever done was when I just covered it in sticky notes.
That was awful. Why would you do that?
I didn't have to wrap it.
It's so low effort, though.
I'm very low effort.
You see, Miss Grace, I've had this thought because Mom is wonderful at wrapping. But you can't say, here, Mom, here's your birthday present. Please wrap it so you can unwrap it in a couple of weeks. That's just not nice. But that ruins the surprise. So I try. She doesn't.
Well, one year I tricked my daughter. I wrapped a brick and put it in a box, a small box, and I wrapped that up and I put it in another box and wrapped it, and it was about 10 different boxes.
Oh my god.
And by the time she got all the way to the end, all she had was a brick.
Oh my god.
That wasn't a good idea because she said she's going to throw it at me, but
I've wanted to do that with Bunky.
My favorite one.
Hold on. No one tell her, but I got her like a little necklace thing for her birthday.
Is she asleep or is she watching?
No. She already knows about it because she found it.
Oh,
she just can't have it yet. But I was gonna wrap it in like 30 different boxes and then like weight it weird. Just because I think it would be fun, but it's also super wasteful, and I hate wrapping. So.
yeah.
You can ask Mom to do it. My favorite one that Mom did was when I was pretty small, and Bunky was like an infant.
So you were like 7.
I was about 7, and so Mom was buying diapers for Bunky all the time, and so we had those boxes for diapers in our house. And this was just when I was starting to do art a lot. So Mom and Dad got me this amazing art set. It had paintbrushes, all these nice paints, some canvases, and there were a lot of stuff. So to save space and wrapping paper, Mom put them all in a box. Now this box was a diaper box. And so she put all my art stuff in a diaper box, taped the diaper box shut, and then wrapped the diaper box. So on my 7th birthday, I opened the box and it's a diaper box.
She looked like she was gonna cry.
Well, see, because I walked past Mom and Dad's bedroom when she was wrapping it. And so for a split second, I see Mom with a diaper box wrapping it. And now KK and my birthday are pretty close together. So I'm just like, oh, she's going to pull a really funny prank on KK. It's going to be so funny. And then my birthday comes and it was on me. Which made it all the funnier.
The best thing that we did was in 2013. My daughter-in-law and I had saved up money and got him a PS2. It was a PS2, PS3. And didn't have no wrapping paper. We had newspaper. So we took the newspaper, wrapped it up, then the comic section and everything. And then we tied it with telephone cord, like a landline cord. And we tied it up. And he goes, he loved it. He goes, but don't ever do that again.
Don't ever do that again. That's awesome. Thrifty endeavors and adventures. Nice. Gave a brick to her husband when they were dating. Well, that's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, back on subject. I don't know how we're going to do shipping, but I do have to figure out how we're going to get beans if we do that again. Because that was a pain.
I think we should do those little like blue envelopes with the bubble wrap.
It costs a lot more though.
Well, we can send like CDs or something with them, so it's not like a complete waste. So you all get free Christmas CDs from 2 years ago.
No, you're not getting those. No.
The music is terrible, but you guys get them for free.
No.
No one's ordering them.
I don't care.
We'll figure something out.
We will figure something out. But that's one of the things I do want to figure out for next year. Yes. Another question I had. What were you guys? It's a different question. You're pulling questions from the wrong place. What did you guys think? And this is for the chat too, about the monthly giveaways. Did you like how paced apart they were? Would you prefer less or more of them? Just what did you think as far as that goes?
Amy.
Oh, they're starting with me again. Well, excuse me, y'all did great. And I'm gonna say that over and over just because, I mean, to put this all together, all of y'all, Lazy Days Ahead, Bushcraft Family, y'all did an amazing job. And it's only because it's my first year. So, hey, if I won, I won. If I didn't, I didn't. It's being part of the collaboration that was the gift to me. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you
Y'all did
guys.
It was great. I think y'all did everything. You know, it wasn't too much. It wasn't too little. You know, and like I had told one time in a video that I won seeds, it was from Jesse and Lisa when they sent me the park seed and the tin. To me, the seeds are a gift that keeps on giving because, you know, I can't use the whole packet because I don't have land or a farm to plant all of it. So I would use 2 or 3, and I still like have half, you know, a lot left over. So, but even when if that seed germinates and it grows, and you say it's cucumbers, and you take 1 cucumber and you dry out all those seeds, well, then you know that works in your area, so you can plant those over and over again. So, but I thought it was great. And like Amy said, whether I won something or didn't, of course, we all want to win.
Yeah.
It's just being part of something that we know that we can come together and support each other and help each other. You know, like, well, this might work here, this might work here, it may not work there, but you know, all those tips and tricks help out a whole lot.
Yeah, I have to agree with that because I will say this is my first year again planning from anything, starting our homesteading. It was exciting to see the seeds that I planted, you know, and then watching everybody else, oh, I could have done that because I don't know how to plant. I don't know what goes where. So to be part of this, watching everybody else's channel, watching you girls, just everybody that was part of this collaboration, I took from that and I learned, okay, I can do this next time. I can plant this, you know, how I'm supposed to plant it instead of just saying, okay, here's the seeds. Let's see what's going to grow. No, like I did, you know? So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, one thing that was disappointing to me was it's not that I can't grow. I know I can because I was part of Shed Wars 4 and 5 years ago. So I know I can grow because I can go back and look at my videos. And when this year, it's just like, okay, there's a reason why it just didn't happen. And I'm like, well, just learn and keep on going.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that's very cool about it. Just like whether you've taken a break or you've never done it before, one of the things that I was, most excited about was the idea that everyone's learning something and sharing what they know. Just because if they know something worked in the past and it doesn't work again, doesn't mean it's not good advice. And everyone does things a little bit differently, and it's I think it's really important to be able to share that. And that was one of my favorite parts of this, just like seeing how different everyone grows, because there's different growing zones and there's different styles of growing, and there's people who plant indoor or outdoor in pots, and all of this advice is just getting passed around, and I thought that was the coolest part. For me, at least.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because that's like me and Bushcraft. We're both in Ohio, so and we're not far from each other, so we're in the same zone. So I think, you know, lemon balm, because he sent me lemon balm. Well, it didn't do anything. I mean, I think it flowered. I think I had a little, maybe a fourth of an inch popped up, and that was it. And then it just nothing else to it. So I was like, okay. Think back, and I went back and looked at my videos and everything, and I know the type of soil I had lacked that time, because I think it was like a mixture of, it had the perlite and the time release stuff in it, and this time I didn't have that. So I was like, it's definitely the soil. So now I know this next year, I'm not going to dump all that and buy new because that's just too much money. And I just buy the stuff to amend it. And
Right.
I still have a potato out there, and somebody in in my last video, Shannon goes, "No, don't dig it up. Just leave it there. Just let it sit there over winter time. Let it winterize, and just see what it does next year." So I'm leaving the potato out there.
Nice.
All right.
It'd be interesting to see what happens.
Exactly.
Nice. Okay. Just as another note, it is 7:10, but I don't see a live from Garden State Gardener, so we're gonna keep going. If either of you two need to either of you three need to go because you need to do something, that's totally okay. If not, I think I have a few more things I can just ask. Hi,
You can
Dancer
ask me
Tony.
another question because I do have to charge my phone. So go ahead and ask away, whatever it is, and then I'll answer it the best I can, and then I'm gonna drop off and go charge my phone.
Okay. One thing I did want to know, I tried to ask this a little bit towards the start of the collaboration as well, is what is one seed you would add to the collaboration?
Let's see. Whew, I wasn't prepared for that question. Let's see.
Money tree.
What?
Yeah,
Money right? A money tree. That'd be great.
That would be amazing.
Bacon plant.
Bacon plant. Let's see.
So serious.
I'm not sure because all of the ones that y'all sent are new to me. Like I said, I hadn't planted before. But I should have joined Bushcraft because didn't he do a different collaboration?
He did
with
the
like
herbal side.
Herbs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
He sent lemon balm
Okay.
and some other stuff to
Yeah.
a bunch of people.
I didn't do that. So
Oh,
but
it's super cool.
the one I don't know. That's a hard question for me. What should y'all add? Because I'm not sure. I couldn't. I don't know.
I think what we did ask some people and what people are saying in the chat is that carrots is a good thing to add because it is a good provider of beta carotene, which is also found. Just hit myself on the table. Which is also a really good thing found in butternut squash. But a lot of people also said to add kale or one of those plants that's really high in protein, which I don't think is kale, but
Spinach.
kale was one of them. Spinach. Wildlife would want bacon seeds. Beach Harmon wants macaroni.
Macaroni. No, that would be good. Carrots, because I didn't add carrots this year to any of the ones that I had, got. But with this, from this meetup, there was somebody who brought like a seed for seed exchange. Christine brought seeds. Ginger brought seeds. Who else was it? Kathy from Resourceful Living brought some seeds. So I brought some of those that they brought. So I got more to go with the next time I plant.
Right.
So carrots is pretty good.
Yeah. It all adds up. Hello. Beach Charming brings up a really good point. If you don't eat kale, don't grow it. You're going to end up with so much kale.
Oh my gosh.
I love kale, but
And it keeps growing depending on the climate.
Grow what you're going to eat. That
Yes.
was what I've been told the whole time. Grow what you're going to eat because you don't want to grow something that not just you, but your family,
Zucchini.
Ow. Leave the zucchini alone.
I am the only one in my family who doesn't like zucchini, but honestly, we need to stop growing it.
We grew very few zucchinis this year.
This year was actually the best year for zucchini for me because Dad didn't make me eat it.
And
that is the one thing in our garden that I do not want at all.
And we were so busy this year that we actually ended up giving a lot of the zucchinis to the cows because they just started going bad. And apparently, Blessing, our cow, can just bite into a zucchini. Watch, bite it. It was actually kind of scary.
Jennifer Ocean Homestead did actually suggest zucchini as a plant, and that is a very good suggestion. However, I don't like it, therefore I'm not going to listen to it. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It will be taken into consideration, just not by her.
Imagine all the broken
the
zucchini seeds on the way and shipping.
I'm actually thinking about just like seeing what's the most voted and then seeing if that's something we do want to add officially to the collaboration. Currently, carrots is in the lead.
Yes, KK actually.
I love squash.
For a while, we were growing summer squash with our zucchini because she'll eat the summer squash, just not the zucchini. And
there's something about the zucchini that just feels weird.
Yeah, but the summer squash is pretty much a yellow zucchini, so I don't know.
So are y'all planning on taking away from the survival seeds that y'all sent out this time and adding something different? Is that what y'all are trying to do, or you just
we don't know yet
what you're already doing?
We don't know yet. I asked this question as if you could add one to the already existing set, but we don't know because a lot of people didn't like the Walla Walla onions because they were hard to germinate. The kidney beans were hard to ship. The pepperoncini peppers, I think we're going to switch to a different kind of dual-purpose pepper because the pepperoncini was way too spicy. We wanted one that was a little spicy, but also good for frying and other things. And the pepperoncini was just
too spicy.
Very spicy.
That was spicy?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that.
I don't know.
It's not like as spicy as like a jalapeno, but it is too spicy to be like a bell pepper. And for the kind of pepper that we wanted it to be, it was a little too much.
She wanted a happy medium, and it wasn't quite a happy medium. You need to get your charger.
Oh.
Yeah, because if you were to ask my husband, that's nothing, because he loves the hot peppers, from ghost peppers to the the hot peppers he loves to grow. So
wow.
To tell him, pepperoncini pepper, if I said that right, I probably killed it. But
no, you had it.
That's just he'd probably like, no, that's not hot enough.
I pickled mine.
Yeah, we pickled ours too with our jalapenos.
I didn't have enough to do big batches or anything. I just did one jar.
Yeah,
because something ate the plants.
No,
oh goodness,
no. So we had an issue where something got into our garden and ate half of our tomato on the vine. So we had this big Dr. White teas, which are like huge orange tomatoes. We had them on the vine, and some critter had come over and eaten half of it. And it was still hanging there. We saw it, and I was just immediately, I was just like, Bunky, how could you just do that?
Maybe it's Bunky.
No, we're actually
maybe
starting
sleepwalking.
to think, we're actually starting to think it was either Bailey, the goat that we raised inside, or Tripod.
Well, was there any basil missing next to the tomato?
No, yes, actually, I think there was.
I would have said that. Oh, it's Bunky.
We had Bailey. We wanted to keep her away from the boy goats, so she was kind of loose in our front yard for a while, and she did get into our garden a few times. So we're thinking it was her.
Oh.
But, yeah. On other news, how did the butternut squash go for you guys?
I didn't plant that.
No, you didn't grow it? Oh.
No.
That's not long enough. KK. So you didn't get any butternut squash either?
I had the plant. The plant grew, and then it just got burned up with the corn, because that's the Three Sisters one I did.
Yeah.
The green beans and the butternut. It vined all over the place and up the stalks of corn, but I got some green beans, and that was about it. I got enough for a few nights of dinner, and that was about it.
Yeah. What about you, Miss Amy?
I got maybe a couple before my whole garden went to.
No. It seems like everyone had a lot of trouble, or most people had a lot of trouble with the squash. We actually didn't get any squash this year that we planted, which is weird because we usually do really well with squash. But we actually had some stuff grow in the garden or in the barnyard that was like sometime in the last year or two, we had spaghetti squash and butternut squash growing, or spaghetti squash and acorn squash growing, and they must have cross-pollinated because the area where we fed the bad squash to the pigs and the goats grew a bunch of plants that we didn't plant, and they look like they're a cross between an acorn squash and a spaghetti squash.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. And these grew on their own naturally, so we're going to save the seeds and grow them because they seem to do really well in our area, and we're going to call them the vineyard chick variety.
We don't know how
that must be green eyes.
That is very funny.
As far as the seeds go, next year, I was thinking, try maybe do one that's container friendly, because some people do grow containers like I do.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I've been looking for also. But I can get something like, if it's like cucumbers that grow up, I can get a stake or something another and tie it up. But bush beans, I found out that since they're like a bush, they work well in a container garden. So that'd be an option to look and see.
All right. I'm taking all these suggestions and I'm putting them in a spreadsheet.
For a seed, I would say corn.
Corn.
Hey,
Okay.
I planted corn. I can grow corn because I did it in Shed Wars. And the corn, it was little like this, but it was enough that it was two of them. Anastasia had one, and I had one. But this year, a squirrel or whatever dug up my corns. The seeds.
Yeah, I had to plant extra corn. Because
that's horrible.
I had a crow. It was either crow or raven would
my goodness
pull out the corn and eat the seed, and then it would leave me little treasures, like bottle caps and a watch face, and I would go replant it, and then they would do the same thing again until I got tired of it and put a rubber snake in there, and then they stopped.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but it was in one of my whiskey barrels, and it was just right where the corn seed was, not where the other seeds. Went right straight down in there and got the one out, and must have got the other one, and then that was it. I was like, well, I'm not replanting those.
Wow, that's too bad.
And
I was
corn has multiple uses.
Yeah.
Because like the corn silk, I make a tincture out of that.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
It's a really good tincture.
And
then for the corn stalk, you can use that.
Yeah, because I made corn cob jelly a few years ago, and that's really good.
Too.
That sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting.
I hadn't heard of that.
I have a video. It should be a couple years ago. Just put corn in there, and I made corn cob jelly.
Oh, that's very. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, if you have somebody that has kidney stones or those things, the corn silk tincture is really good for that.
Oh, really?
It's better than going to surgery or trying to pass it.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Drifty Endeavors and Adventures wants to do a salsa garden.
Oh,
that's actually kind of why we did the onions, peppers, and tomatoes as the survival seeds
for salsa,
because you use those for sauces and salsas, and we wanted to time them where they all produced at the same time, and they kind of did. So I was happy about that. But salsa gardens are so cool. We did that a few years ago, and we just had a bed totally dedicated to a salsa garden, and that was great.
It smelled amazing. Great salsa garden. We were actually considering growing corn, but I've gotten a lot of comments that I'm corny enough on my own.
Stop it.
Also considered making cheese, but I had the same issue with being too cheesy.
Stop.
Ginger.
It's just you who doesn't.
Ginger from Not for Nothing Homestead, she brought loofahs and stuff, and I want to try planting some loofah, because there's so many uses for loofah, so that's something new that's going to be on the homestead.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Cool. We accidentally grew loofahs once, but we ended up just letting them die because we didn't know what to do with them.
We did the same thing with okra.
Yeah, well, we didn't want to.
We got a good sized okra, and then we didn't know what to do with it, so we just left it alone, and then it died.
I actually, there was a bad storm, and the okra fell off the plant. So you could say it was okra wind freed.
Stop.
Freed by wind.
Stop it.
She had a serious look on her face like, what?
I did not get that as an Oprah Winfrey reference for a second.
Why do you take me seriously?
Yeah, my favorite thing to grow is my evening primrose, and that's really pretty. And it opens up at nighttime and closes in the morning. And it's on my Instagram, and I can't share it on my YouTube. I try to do that, but it takes actually 6 minutes from the time it starts to open to it fully opens for that flower. And it's so pretty. And I did make a lotion with that. Made it into a tincture with olive oil, and then made a lotion. So that was really nice.
That's so cool.
That must smell really nice. We had morning glories, which were one of Mom's favorite.
They're
flowers,
everywhere.
They're beautiful.
They're everywhere.
They open in the morning, and then they close up. They're super pretty. They come in really nice colors. Mom planted them, and she grew them over our
morning glory jelly.
Dad planted them and grew them over our trellis, and they were beautiful.
Did you hear it?
What?
Morning glory jelly.
Wait, really? Huh. Well, maybe now we can use them for something because they don't die.
We've tried for like 3 years to get them to just leave, and they don't leave.
We grew them over this trellis at the front of the garden, and they were beautiful. But then Dad decided that instead of morning glories, we should do grapes there. But the morning glories haven't died, and they come back every year, and they're strangling out the grapes.
Yeah.
So we don't know what to do with them. They come back all the time, and they're beautiful. But
we're trying to uproot them, and they just come back.
Yeah, you can't get rid of them. It's like mint. Is that there? Yeah.
I did have another question regarding the panel, or I think not the panel, but the guest speakers that we did every week. I thought this was a very cool addition, and it gives people in our community a chance to talk about what they think matters in a collaboration and to share their knowledge with other people while talking about a central subject. And I think we did a really good job, I think, for this year of having people come up to talk about something they're well versed in and knowledgeable in. I think that's the word.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And we had some really cool topics. We had Mountain Grandma to talk about nutrition and what could be missing out of our survival seeds if you had to live on those, and what would you add. And she had some very good inputs as far as that goes. And we had a mycologist come up and talk about mushrooms. And we had Miss Anne who talked about her harvest. And we had a different guest every week, and we had Miss Sandy up a couple times to talk about seed saving. And so there were a ton of wonderful guests, and everyone had something really cool to share. So one of my questions was, instead of us trying to figure out who would and wouldn't be interested, would an opt-in form, and then we get in touch with the people who wanted to be part of it, be easier than trying to guess who would and who wouldn't want to be part of it? Just have like some sort of form where you can say if you're interested in being part of it and what you would be interested in talking about. And also for the people who don't want to be a speaker, or who do but also are curious anyway, what would be a really good topic to learn about next year? We tried to keep things evened out, where we talked about nutrition, we talked about seed saving, we talked about growing. But what else do you guys think would make a good topic to center a live stream around?
Preserving.
Ooh,
that sounds like a good one.
Preserving, because there's so many ways, because everybody thinks of canning, but there's dehydrating now. A lot of people now have the freeze dryer, so they do freeze drying and everything. Now, my goal was this year was to grow and dehydrate in vacuum seal in jars. And so, but that's another way you can, get the little mini one. I got one for my birthday last year. It just sits on there and you push the button and that seals it up and everything. But we also have the food saver with the bags. So either way, to do that. I think
hydroponics would be a good one too. Yeah.
Hydroponics would be a good one.
Yeah.
That would be a really good one. Hydroponics would be really helpful.
Yeah, I was trying that too. That didn't go so well.
We had a few different executions of the idea of hydroponics. We did aquaponics, in which we had some fish in our greenhouse, and they died. That did not work well. But we tried that one year. We did a few different iterations of hydroponics with different flowing water, and we had a few videos about that, but it ended up being really full of algae. So we haven't quite mastered our hydroponics, but there are some very knowledgeable people about hydroponics in the community. I like that idea.
You need to
natural
get the
waste
fish
to
that eat
fertilize.
the algae.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. The thing with that is that we did a PVC pipe in a 5-gallon bucket, and then it went up. So to keep the fish eating the algae, you would have to be sending them up a hose.
That part got algae. Okay.
The little fish. The little fishies go.
Whee!
That sounds horrible.
But our
Salmon.
PVC
They're the ones that
hydroponics
swim upwards.
until they get stuck in there. And
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
help!
Oh my gosh.
Poor Nemo. What's folks going on about?
Also, was something I was wanting to talk about this year before I got sick was medical.
Oh
preparedness.
yeah.
Not only what you can buy in the store and everything, but there's different herbs and everything that people can use to help stop with pain and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea to touch more, because we did bring up like what herbs are good for what things when we were talking about teas with, I think that was Not for Nothing Homestead, and then we also talked to Bushcraft about different herbs and what they're good for. But I think that would be a good thing to kind of bring up, because while you can't talk about medical stuff on YouTube, you can talk about the benefits of other herbs, provided you do keep it clear that you need to do your own research, because what works for one person may not work for another person.
And we are not medical professionals.
And we are not medical professionals.
I haven't even graduated high school.
Imagine.
I learned that the hard way a few weeks ago. So.
Oh no.
With my eyes, so.
No.
I still haven't learned, so I'm still getting in trouble.
Yeah, that is becoming a
if you have a grass pollen allergy, don't use chamomile tea bags on your eye if you've got something going on with it.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was doing what my hands did when I had the alpha gall, and I was like putting tea bags, putting warm compresses on it. It's just red, dry, and I'm like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. So I didn't know that chicory, which is also part of that family of chamomile, chrysanthemum, daisies, and marigolds. If you have a grass pollen allergy, don't use it.
Oh no.
And I was drinking coffee with chicory in it.
Oh no.
And then I got the chamomile tea bags before I did my research. And I was like, I had the tea bag on my eye, went to bed and got up that next morning and it was like swollen.
Oh.
Yeah, KK had a pretty bad eye reaction to horsehair.
Not helpful.
Oh
my gosh, it's horrible.
It goes down during the day. That gets, does this thing at nighttime. So I did go to the doctor this week, but I was just like, please, like me, do your research first before you do anything else.
Always do your research.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that I wanted to touch more on, like outside of nutrition, because I'm a biology nerd and I like knowing what things are made of. And I did like talking about teas and how they help different things. But I think one of the things I wanted to really touch on more than we did is the chemical compounds of different plants and how to keep them happy. Just because, like, beans, for example, are high in... They do this thing where they add nitrogen to your soil. which is really good for helping fertilize. And there's also certain plants that you can't grow next to other plants because like it'll mess up their chemical compounds. And one of the things that we've learned is that growing basil next to tomatoes actually helps the tomatoes out. And like different pairings like that, I would be interested in learning more about that. Onions and garlic, yeah.
Three
He's
sisters
like,
thing.
yeah. The Three Sisters method, because those help each other in the soil, and pairing your plants differently can lead to different results. And I think especially like for people who deal with limited space, it's important to know what to put next to other plants and what not to put next to other plants.
Hi, Miss Anne.
And so I'd be curious to learn more about that.
And also, like if you plant something that for in the spring, what is good to plant after that? Because even you could remove all the roots and everything from the previous plant, and you plant something else in there and it doesn't agree with that plant, it'll hinder whatever you're growing. So you want to kind of pair it with something that's going to basically feed it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
that's like companion planting, because that's what I do, because like, I have some smaller containers, some of the bigger ones, and then, like the radishes, I planted the radish and the dill together because they're companion together. So the dill did really well. I'm not going to tell you about the radishes yet.
Ooh.
That's for the final video. But I was just really surprised. But, that what goes together. So I do a lot of research on that, because I was like, okay, I got this little plant here. What can I plant together? And then like the bigger ones. So the one with the potato, I put some dill seeds in there, and it just like fizzled out. So I was like, well, we'll just wait till next year to see what the potato did.
Right.
It'll taste like a dill pickle.
I know. That's funny.
Karma Lewis learned not to put more than one variety of plant in each raised bed. That is that's a really important thing to keep in mind. And towards the start of the year, I wanted to encourage people to grow their survival seeds away from their actual garden, just to avoid the cross-pollination. And I know that's hard on limited space in raised beds where everything is together. But definitely trying to keep them apart can help keep your seeds the way they're supposed to be. And that's one of the things I'm curious about with the Mariana tomatoes, because those are actually hybrid tomatoes. They grow prolifically, and they're big, and they're good for juice and for for the meat part of the tomato. So they're good for sauces and being used fresh, but they are also hybrid tomatoes. So I actually don't know for a fact what we're going to get next year if we replant those seeds. So I am really curious about that. Got our finale in last Friday. That's awesome. Hi, Preparedness HQ. Again, those final videos need to be up by October 18th at noon Central Time, so 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
To be
included in the October Extravaganza live stream over on the Lazy Days Ahead channel, which is going to be on Saturday, October 19th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And we are really looking forward to that. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to win something, and also just to hang out and reflect on how the year went, and what you guys would change, which is also going to be kind of the overarching topic for the next few live streams as we enter the off season. We're going to be planning Survival Seeds 2025, and we're really excited about that. So if you guys have your final video turned in, you can feel free to email us about wanting to be on the panel. And just because you're on the panel 1 week doesn't mean you can never be in again. I do want to keep the panels limited to 6 people total. So we do have 3 or 4 slots a week open. Just because I don't want the screen to get too small, and then there's people who don't have time to get a word in because there's a lot of people in the chat.
Yeah, we want it to be comfortable.
So I want to keep it a maximum of 6 people, just so that it's cozy and everyone has an opportunity to be heard. But we would love to have you guys on the live stream if you have your final video already finished. We want to hear from you guys, and we would definitely appreciate it. But email us for more information on that if that is something you are interested in.
Yeah. I just really quickly want to ask, Mr. Charles, do you think you're going to be able to make it to the panel next week?
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, the last couple weeks it's been
Yeah. I know. It's
a little
We've been
rough.
praying for you.
We're happy to have you back.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Another question. I have like this list of questions, but my computer turned to night mode and now I can't read anything.
It's angry now.
Stop it.
I was waiting for you to finish reading your list, so I'm trying to distract people.
Thank you. Do you guys enjoy the interview format where every week is an interview, or is there other things that you would like the live stream time to be used for some weeks? This is a question for you guys and the chat. The interview was something that we did every week since we started the collaboration, and we've had a ton of guests.
Amazing guests.
I know we didn't get to everyone that we wanted to get to just because of rescheduling issues, or we didn't know that they were interested, which I'm hoping to do a better job with figuring that out next year. But did you guys enjoy the interview, or was there some weeks you would like to have something else, and what is that something else?
Let's start with me. No, that's good. Y'all are doing good. Like everything that has happened so far through the whole collaboration, y'all have put in so much work, and I mean, I wouldn't change it.
All
Y'all are
right.
doing great. Yeah.
Thank you. We really appreciate that.
Yeah. I like the interviews too. I thought they were really very informative also.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from them myself.
Yeah, these have been great. Hi, Miss Gail. I've loved the interviews, getting to know everyone and what they're doing in the collaboration. That's another really cool part about the collaboration, because even if you're watching their videos, you really get to know about what someone is doing in their garden and what knowledge they have to share by getting interviewed. And I really liked using our channel as a platform to kind of, hey, this person is doing something cool, go check them out. And that was like one of my favorite things, just like having the last question of the interview, just being like, tell us about you. And so that was fun. Miss Karma would like to see a recipe once a month to show how to use some of the things we're going. I like that suggestion.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
KK should cook for me. I'm gonna start like a hashtag or something. Hashtag make KK cook food.
Stop.
Everyone can jump on board and just get her to cook food. She should do more recipe videos.
What
I
did
would actually-
KK cook with her zucchini?
Nothing.
No,
Actually, no.
That's
Actually, no.
a good idea.
I need to put it in a casserole dish. Put like oil and some seasoning in it. Crank the oven to 500 degrees and watch it burn.
Why waste the oil? Just feed it to the chicken.
More flammable.
Oops.
Well,
Oh,
girls,
goodness.
thank you for having me up. I'm gonna drop off, but it was
Alright.
fun to be part of the collaboration, and I look forward to next year because I'm not giving up, girls. I'm not. I'm very excited, and yeah, so I look forward to being part of the collaboration again. So thank you for having me up on panel.
Thank you so much for being
Thank you
here.
for being here. This is awesome. I do like this panel format.
Have a great day.
Bye.
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 A recipe would be cool. So it seems like that is a good consensus. I don't know, like maybe do a video once a month.
Like,
I don't know how you would do a
Yeah.
cooking live. You could do a cooking live stream. We've
where
done
all
it.
three co-hosts cook the same thing. It'd be us, Mr. Charles, Mr. Jesse, and Miss Lisa. Everyone just cooking the same thing, and whoever turns out the worst has to do something.
Eat the jelly beans.
Oh,
Those jelly beans.
Okay, you have the worst tasting food. You have to eat the jelly beans. It's gonna be me. I know it.
I ended up had to eat one of them jelly beans the other day, and it was
You did?
it was soap.
Oh.
I had that
Oh.
soap taste in my mouth for the whole night.
Why did you eat one?
Ugh.
I didn't know they still made them. The
Oh
jelly
my gosh.
beans with the different.
It is so funny when you get them for someone who isn't you. They're hilarious. But the second you have to eat them, it's not worth it. It is
Nope.
not worth it. It was great. Like, just the first time we got it for our big brother. He had no idea. It was gross.
It hit him like a truck.
And we got him the one where you like spin the spinner and then you have to like take the color and then you don't know if you're getting a good one or not. And then we hijacked Mr. Joe's channel while he was on a break.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was great. And we invited Bushcraft family and Miss Lisa and Mr. Jesse, and we had them eat it. So that was
Mr.
great.
Charles didn't have them that night, did
he? Had them. He had them the next week because it didn't get there in time. Yeah. Best way I've ever spent my parents' money. Sending these horrible jelly beans.
And then Mr. Joe came on and he did it with us, but he had the spicy one.
Oh my god,
that was really bad.
The ghost pepper one, yeah.
That was horrible.
Woo!
Southwest Living with Val. Next year, I'm going to make the Survival Seeds 2025 its own garden with a neat sign. That's so cool.
So cool.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Also, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to promote the Saturday live stream. There is going to be a ton of prizes, and Mr. Jesse has some custom engraved things regarding the survival seed. So if you guys are a collaborator and you would like a chance to win something wood engraved, that is one of the prizes. He showed it up on live streams before, and I think he's making like signs for the plants. So that is going to be super cool. So we highly encourage you guys to go head over to the Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa channel. They already have the live up, and just turn on the notifications so you know when it starts. That way you can have a chance to win.
Yeah.
I
do want to ask a question to people on the panel and everyone in the chat. Something that was very important to us this year that we were really, really trying to do is we wanted the collaboration to be very comfortable. So there weren't like a lot of things you had to do. You only had to put up an entry in a final video to qualify. There was no, you have to put up a video every so often. You can do whatever you want with it. We just wanted to make the whole collaboration very comfortable so that there wasn't like a lot you had to do. And anyone is welcome into the collaboration, whether you want to show your face or not, or however you're comfortable with your camera.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think as far as like the easy goingness of the collaboration?
I like that because it didn't feel like you put pressure on anybody to like, you had this done on, to put up no, every collab is different and it depends on what you do. But this was like really, I think was the best way to do it because, and gave everybody that time to get the seeds because like you said, you had to send them out.
Oh my gosh, that was a nightmare.
Oh,
It was such a nightmare.
That was split in half, but the other ones were fine.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh my goodness. I said, stupid male people.
I know.
So, because I've been in collabs like with the quilt blocks and everything, and we had to buy special stamps to put on a non-machinable so they wouldn't send into the machine because it was cutting up the fabric. So I was like, oh, they just didn't listen to what they were trying to tell them to do, And I've had people send me beans before, and they put that stamp on there and write on it non-machinable. So, but I was like, just to, get the seeds, here plant, let's see what happens and everything. And sometimes, like not being on video, sometimes it's just easier for me to take my phone and just shoot the video while I'm talking and everything, and then I'm over and done with and then, my editing is putting all the nice little characters and everything in there. And I was running out of space on my SD card, so I couldn't do that for the last few videos. So it's like, here we go, just here's what the video is. But I think it was great.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, one of the things I really liked about the collaboration is that it became not something about like, I'm going to do this thing where I'm going to grow something bigger than other people. And I do love those kinds of collaborations. The Grow Big TV collaboration in which we compete to grow the biggest sunflower.
Those are so fun.
Those are so fun, and I love doing that. But I think for survival seeds, I really wanted it to be a learning experience.
And less of a competition.
Just because I like learning. I like learning about what people do to keep their gardens healthy. I like learning what works for different time zones.
Yeah.
time zones. Growing
and
zones.
that's the thing is we still endorsed Joe's and Courtney's grow big stuff.
I love that thing.
And there was no fighting about it or anything. That's the good part about it. There shouldn't be any fighting over. Oh, you're taking all of our people away or something like that.
No.
Yeah,
all these collaborations are great, and all of the gardeners should all be getting together and doing all this stuff.
Yeah. And that's the point I was trying to make.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like I loved hearing what works for people and what doesn't. Because, like, just personally, I feel like I know more about gardening in our growing zone as well as other growing zones a lot more than we did at the start of the year.
Right.
Just because everyone grows differently, and what works for some people could work for other people. Won't work for others. Won't work. What was cool was that we got to share the onion germinating strategy that our family has used since my grandpa was little, and we freeze them. We freeze the onions and the peppers, and then we let them thaw. And getting to share that and see if it works for other people was a very cool thing to do.
The germination.
But also just seeing, like at the end of the year, and our squash didn't do very well, and we got to say that we know why it didn't work. That way someone is not going to make the mistake that we did. Mm-hmm. Because our squash did terrible.
You can learn from people's successes and their mistakes.
And it's not something to be embarrassed of, because... Yeah, sure. We're usually good at growing squashes, and this year just didn't do it. But now someone else is not going to do what we did. So I think that was very cool. I liked doing that. Weird Container Gardens was such a fun collaboration. Miss Gail does that.
Gail.
Yeah.
Such a fun one.
I think last year you did the one where you took the feed barrels and you cut it in half.
You're welcome.
Yeah. What was the one you did before that? I feel like you had a really weird one.
I don't remember.
She had and there's been some really creative ones.
Some awesome ones.
Someone was growing in a tire. I think someone was growing in an old boot.
I want to do that. I've got Dad's old rubber boots.
That was so cool.
Dad gave me his old rubber boots, and so I started using them, and then I cut holes in them on accident. And so now I want to use them for, like, growing stuff.
Now your basil can smell like old socks.
Okay, just... Hilarious.
10 feet were in them.
I think WIG 2023. This has to do with the winter indoor garden.
Mike's Chaotic
Gardening does that one. That one is awesome. I think we started ours in like February. Our winter garden started in February or something. We were late.
December.
It starts in December, but we didn't do it in December.
We were late with
ours.
Why are you cutting them before they're cut?
Even in the same zone, there are differences, right? And knowing your growing zone is super important. I'm a little behind in chat. I'm trying to catch up. Giant pumpkins is where we started. I'm finally ready to do one next year. This year we did huge field pumpkins. That's cool. Yes, I will definitely grow the squash in ground next year. Maybe I'll put one in a large pot and see how it goes.
Yeah, in ground goes so much better.
In ground usually does better, but ours didn't. We tried in ground. I think our issue is that we didn't cover.
Water.
Yeah, we didn't water.
We hardly watered this year. Let's be honest. We were playing music, so we weren't gardening.
No, the one I was going to bring up is that we didn't cover the ground with a tarp, and what that does is it kills the weeds and the grass that grows there. We didn't do that this year, and I think they also got strangled, as well as underwatered. So they were just really going through it this year. The ease of the collaboration was great. I didn't feel pressured. Life is so busy and was spaced out great. That's really good to hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm in a high desert, so it's very different than others in 7A. Our microclimate is something. The microclimate is something to think about too.
Right, because our microclimate is so funny that sometimes we've got rain everywhere around us.
Right here.
But like the block we're on, there's no rain.
I don't understand why that is.
So fun. I think it's because of like we're a little higher.
Hello, it's the Marshmallow Man. I don't know what that is. Sand spurs? What are we talking about? I'm looking for survival uses for sand spurs. I don't know what that is. Corn chip basil. I'm trying to catch up. I'm very lost right now.
Oh, Southwest Living with Val. This was your first collaboration. Well, I'm glad we were your first collaboration.
Oh my gosh.
That is super cool. New
Awesome.
seeds. Yes.
Trellising
Seeds.
squash is a great way to get aeration to the plants. That's a good point.
That is a good point.
I think they probably get less mildew and less diseases that way because they're not all stuck at the ground at the same time.
Yeah, because I was thinking about getting a trellis because I have the 3 whiskey barrels, and there's enough room that it could go in one and then overlap to the last one, and then maybe try that for like cucumbers or or beans or something like that.
Oh,
That
very
way
cool.
on the trellis, and then that way they can't say it's a viney plant and it's all over the ground.
Nice.
I'm going to see about that next year. But I was like, go ahead.
The only issue that we've ever run into with like trellising anything is me being clumsy, because we've had our squash growing really well in our beans.
Oh, goodness.
And then I drop something on the plant and it hits the base of the plant and there's nothing else around it, so it just kills the plant.
Or that time you stepped on them.
Yeah.
Or when you dropped the comb on the carrots.
I don't know how I did that.
We had baby carrot seeds growing inside, and she dropped a hair comb.
And it bounced and it landed in the carrot bed and it took out like a third of the carrots.
Gone.
Oh my
I don't
goodness.
know what happened.
Hi, Miss Lila. Get some sleep, but thank you.
Hi.
Get some sleep.
I wouldn't mind
is-
trying growing a mini pumpkin because in my gardener has those I forgot what it's called without looking it up, but it's like a little mini pumpkin. It's not like a pumpkin for pumpkin pie. It's just a little mini one. And I was
Oh,
like,
cute.
I thought they'd be cute.
That sounds super fun. We didn't mean to, but we got a lot of people this year to grow tiny butternut squash.
Baby butternut squash. Baby nut squash. It was super cute. So many people accidentally grew these adorable little squash.
I don't know why they didn't grow right, but I don't think squash did very well for many people. And I'm
Baby
not
squash.
sure why that is.
I don't
We
know
have
what
to
you're
have a
talking
lot
about.
of
I think
water.
it grew well since they were so cute.
That is true. I learned not to plant pumpkins near sunflowers. The sunflowers will rob them of everything.
And that's interesting.
Yeah.
Bunky grew a few
We did that.
sunflowers
We did that.
by her squash.
Huh.
That is interesting.
Hmm.
Maybe that's why they didn't grow very well.
I do have more questions.
I think
you know what?
bonzo beans would be pretty cool to grow.
Actually, I gotta go.
Yeah.
All right.
I got Bible study to go to.
All right.
Yeah,
Have fun.
7:57. I think
That
we
is
should
true.
wrap
We should
up.
wrap
Everybody have a
Everyone's
wonderful
out.
night.
We've
Hey,
taken up
hey,
2 hours.
Charles.
Bye bye.
Good night. We've taken up 2 hours of these lovely people's time. So
That is true.
We're gonna wrap soon. But we've got 3 minutes. So,
In the meantime,
what's your favorite color?
what?
Okay. My favorite color is blue, but Anastasia told me purple because her daddy's color is blue and we can't have the same color.
Oh.
Okay.
What I was going to say
Your favorite
is,
color is purple.
stop it. I'm talking. But yeah.
Mine is green.
But what I was gonna say is make sure to go check out the live stream that is scheduled on Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa's channel.
Yes.
That is going to be Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of opportunities to win something, and there are grand prizes that are super, super cool.
Set notifications, even though
Set your
they don't
notifications.
usually work.
They don't usually work,
But just do it anyway, because sometimes they work.
and we're really excited for it, and we hope to see you guys there. Again,
Remember, it's Saturday, not
it is
Sunday.
Saturday. On Sunday, we're going to have another panel. So if you guys have
We will?
yeah.
I thought we were just doing the Saturday.
No, it's going to be Sunday too.
Oh.
But the day after that, on this channel, we're going to be doing another panel like we did tonight. And if you guys have your final videos submitted and you would like to be a part of the panel, send us an email and we'll get some details on that out to you. There's some things that we do need to take care of before you're on the panel. One being you need to have your face showing in your videos and in the live stream, just for
so that we
safety
know
reasons.
who can recognize.
Sunflowers draw weird bugs.
Speaking of weird bugs, did anybody else have a multitude of wasps this year? We've had like
No.
4 wasps inside alone, and we've got them all over the property.
The one I was not happy about was the cicadas.
Where?
this year was a huge cicada year because the 7-year and the 11-year cycles were both going off this year. And so that was the weird bug I wasn't happy with.
I think they're cool. I used to collect cicada shells because they'll shed their skins. And so I used to collect their dry shit skins and leave them places. Because they're perfectly harmless, but they look just like cicadas. So I put one on the roof of the car. I put one on top of the freezer. I put one on one of the coffee tables. And the amount of times I got Kayla and Bunky with the cicada shells was beautiful. It was so awesome.
So fun. Had squash bugs for the first time ever. Huh, that's really interesting.
Oh.
Mom won't let me keep my cicada shell collection in my room.
Oh my gosh, they were coming in the air conditioner. That's horrible.
Ooh.
The cicadas?
I guess.
Wow. Or the wasps.
Oh, the wasps. It's probably the wasps.
Oh, no.
Huh. So it wasn't just us. We do have to wrap up, though. It's been 2 hours. But thank you guys again for coming. We really appreciate your feedback. And it was so great to hear from you guys. And we'll see you guys next week. But before that, we're going to be on Lazy Days Ahead's channel on Saturday at 6 p.m. for the October extravaganza. It's the big event that everyone's been waiting for. And we really would love to see you guys there. So we hope you guys can make it. And we'll also be here same time next week with another panel. But thank you guys so much.
Interesting. Hang on.
What?
After the wasps die off, leave the nests and they won't come back. Because if there's a dead nest there, they don't want to be there. This is interesting. I gotta look into this.
That is cool.
Because usually we wait till winter and then we remove the nests. But if the nests ward them off, we've got some black hornets over our driveway right now. So that's interesting. Very interesting.
But again, thank you guys so much for being here. Gail Southern Living, Southwest Living with Val, Jennifer Ocean Homestead.
Our treasured home, thank you for coming up on the panel.
Thank you so much.
So excited to be here.
This is so much fun.
The smell of death keeps them away. Huh.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay.
Huh. Okay.
Ever tell you guys about the wasps with photographic memory?
Yeah, you did.
There is a kind of wasp that has photographic memory, so if you bother them, they remember you, and they tell all their friends. There was one man who ran into one and swatted at it and then went home. And the next morning, he woke up to a swarm of them on his front porch. And they are deadly if you get stung too many times.
Oh, dear.
He had to call animal pest control to get them out of there. Like, it is terrifying.
Wow. Okay.
I like telling this to people.
On that note, we're going to wrap up.
Be nice to your neighborhood wasps, people.
But
They'll remember if you don't.
But thank you again so much for being here, and we'll see you next week. Make sure you get notifications on for the October's extravaganza, and have a great week, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.
Bye.